Ah, yes, folks. Back in with Blue Please here on WoW Radio. This is Total Biscuit. You just heard the sounds of Dragon Force. Lots of people like that track, some people didn't. But I don't care, because Dragon Force pwns your face. And it always will. And it's epic, and it's the kind of thing you want to listen to while playing World of Warcraft. You want to listen to country or chill out, you want to listen to something epic. Yes. Right, okay. Let's get on with things. Right, so far, we've managed to slander a customer relations officer, play some epic metal, and deal with a guy called Vio. Apparently a guy called Vio has just joined the chat. Whether or not that's the actual real Vio or not remains to be seen. Will Vio in the chat room, please let himself be known to us. Anyway, if you want to join in the fun and frolics in the chat room, go over to wcradio.com and click on the RC button at the top of the screen. That's where you need to be. Come and join the cool kids. We've got 65 people in there so far. Not too bad at all. Right, on to the next topic. And we do have the next topic. Not only do we have the next topic, but we've got plenty of features coming up quite soon, so stay tuned for those. Okay. Now, there's been a little bit of contention. Contention is not a word. Try again. Contention. There's been a little bit of contention as regards to what are seen as rogue buffs. The impending rogue buffs. Now, unfortunately, I've lost the thread. Let's see. Let me see. Where is it? I hate it when I lose my content. It runs away. Not good. Right. Rogue. Aha, there we go. Now, Tyron posted some dev feedback as regards to rogue concerns. So, a few things he dealt with. First, he dealt with the idea of rogue utility in high-end raid encounters. And he said this. In Anoxia and Molten Core raids, several monsters in these encounters have incredibly powerful area of effect attacks to which rogues are particularly vulnerable. The dev team is aware that rogues have lower survivability than many other classes due to their proximity to the target, but at the same time, many raid guilds have been discovering that rogues are clearly generating the most DPS in the raid, specifically in Molten Core, thus offsetting that disadvantage and making rogues very desirable on high-end raids. Okay, so basically they're saying rogues are fine in instances. I can agree with that. The ability sap is very useful, and let's face it, while a mage is a glass cannon, they are a battering ram. Their DPS is ridiculously high. Now, the next point. Let's face it, WoW Radio has a particular role in informing the community about various things, so I would like to inform them about this, because some people are misunderstanding this particular post. Okay. Let's face it, this was badly written, but I'll read it out anyway and see what you make of it, and then explain what it actually meant. It's entitled Vanish Breaking, and it says this. A major concern of rogues is the reliability of Vanish to successfully break spells in mid-cast. In the upcoming Battlegrounds patch, Vanish Rank 2 has been improved so that Vanish will more effectively break these spells from landing on the rogue. Also changed some spells that have both a direct damage and a DOT effect. While Vanish previously cancelled out the direct damage, the DOT would remain. This has been changed so that Vanish breaks both the DD and DOT attack. Right, now, what some people thought this meant was, if you vanish, any DOTs on you disappear. This caused an outcry, 15 pages worth of, obviously. So, what happened was basically this. That post doesn't mean that. What that What that post actually meant was this. Vanish will break a DOT cast in mid-cast, as in, for instance, Curse of Agony, or Shadowwood Pain. It'll break it in mid-cast, just like it would a fireball. If you vanish mid-cast on a fireball, the fireball will be broken. You won't take the damage from it. Fair enough. And that's all it means. It does not mean that if you have a DOT on you already, Vanish will get rid of it. No, that's not going to happen. Quite simply put. So, let's knock that particular rumour on the head right now. This has been confirmed by a dev. Vanish will not remove DOTs that are already on the target. Jack in the channel says this. Rogues Vanish should remove all DOTs, and while in Vanish state, you should be immune to any attacks. If you unstealth, it breaks the immune effect. Jack needs a slap around the face. No. Get lost. That's silly. Now, when it comes to stealth, I don't really have a problem with it. If someone stealths and you know roughly where they are, look where they've gone, you can smack a stealther using an AoE attack. It's the way to go. However, when it comes to actually making them immune to things, breaking existing DOTs, no. A DOT is an extremely valuable and extremely useful way of keeping a rogue unstealthed. Because let's face it, if they vanish in mid-fight, you're in trouble. Very unpleasant business. So it's required. 99 says this. What's the point of Vanish if you can't escape an attack? You can escape an attack. You just can't escape a DOT. You've got to wait for the DOT to disappear, or use a potion or scroll or whatever to get rid of the effect. Or, handily enough, have a priest with you who can actually dispel the effect in the first place. Or a mage who can dispel a curse. Bella says this. Shadowwood, Pain and Curses are all instacast. Yes, but they're not the only DOT spells in the game. Not at all. Take Curse of not Curse of Agony. Corruption, for example, is not instacast unless you get the talents in it. So there are a few DOT spells in the game. And what they've effectively done there is a bug fix. And this brings me on to the main point of the matter. Is bug fixes and buffs. Now, when this rogue post first came out, a lot of people came to the conclusion that they were buffing rogues again. And that obviously caused an outcry. Very unpleasant. Rogue, you know. Can't sort rogues out, that's wrong. Seems a bit silly. So, this is the point of the matter. The point of the matter is simple. A bug fix is required. You can't balance using bugs. Now, it doesn't matter if fixing a bug is going to bring a class to a level where they're more powerful than they were in the first place. Usually that'll happen. It's got to be done anyway. Because as long as bugs exist in the game, you cannot achieve a reasonable balance. Because bugs screw up a lot of things. Bugs screw up the entire sort of simple, organised, laid out way of organisation as far as balance is concerned. They're the spanner. They are the spanner that goes into the works. And they need to be sorted out. It doesn't matter if they buff the class indirectly via fixing the bug. They can fix that later, but the bug must be fixed. There is no excuse for any bug to be left in the game. As I've said this time and time again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how far it pushes the class ahead. Even if it becomes unbalanced, the bug must be fixed. Once the bug is fixed, the balance change can then be applied. And that's what needs to be done. You can't play with balance while that particular ability is bugged, because it'll screw it up. Totally screw up any idea, any effective balance whatsoever. So no, I don't agree with this idea at all, and I think people need to get this idea into their head that fixing a bug is not a buff. Fixing a bug does not show favouritism. Fixing a bug is the job of the bug fixers, oddly enough. Sounds like a bizarre concept, but yeah, it actually is. So, that's going to be dealt with. That's cool. And it's being dealt with. But I would ask people to stop whinging about it. As Prolapse Halibut so accurately says in the chat, bugs set fire to kittens. I've seen it happen. It's true. Yep. No, not, yeah, as I say, bugs are a bad thing. Alcan makes the comment simply that software without zero bugs is software that never ships. Yes, but he also says the visible bad stuff should be fixed. If you know about a bug, there's no excuse not to fix it. That's always the way. There will always be some kind of problem in a piece of software. Even Pong. Yeah, even Pong. The first game used to crash. That had bugs in it. Even depends how so simplistic it actually was. But yeah, it does need to be sorted out. And when it comes to balance, a bug must be removed before you can achieve a proper balance. Now, a few things. The chat room is buzzing right now. We have 75 people in there, so I would strongly suggest you join. Joining the Fool and joining the Fool. Oh dear, my head's so screwed up right now. Epic Guild says that we should send Total Biscuit some Lemsip. See, I've already downed 2 of those evil Lemsip Max Direct kind of things, which are basically like sherbet in drug form, or drugs in sherbet form even. Evil things. But I'm dosed up on paracetamol right now, which is the reason I can talk and think reasonably straight, but my nose is so blocked. I must apologise for that. Now, Blackout Ravencrest says, why don't you base some discussions off the chat room rather than reading out loud forum topics? The reason for that is simple. I can't prep content based on the chat room because no one ever talks in it. And when they do speak in it, it's usually pointless. So, there's your reason. You're all fantastic in the chat room, but you can't base discussions on stuff that's already happening anyway. And your discussions are based on my content, which comes from the forums. So there you go. Right, speaking of content, and speaking of whinging, I think it's time for this.
Ask the Murloc.
I love that sound effect, it never gets old. And neither does the Murloc. Now, special thing with the Murloc. So far, the Murloc's questions have been all created for the sake of the show. Now, this time we actually managed to get a real question in, so that's exciting stuff. If you want to submit questions to the Murloc, it's now possible to do so. The Murloc has evolved slightly. The Murloc has got its own email address. themurloc@gmail.com. That is themurloc@gmail.com. Make sure to email your questions in for the next Ask the Murloc. And this is, of course,
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, I am level 32 shaman, and I have a question to ask you. I often go to Taran Mill to aid in the defense against the Alliance. I always try to make an agreement with the raid group that is active there, that I will be positioned on the first line of the offense, the group will move, so I will be in the middle, perfect for healing. I put 3 totems in the ground, and before I have the time to move, something like 10 mages start booming at me. Why is it that shamans, who specialize in healing, are killed before the priests even get targeted?
Oh no! What's going on? What are you doing in my house? Oh dear! This is I, the Murloc. Ha! See, so, question. Yes, you have a long and incredibly dull and boring question for me. Oh yes. So, you're a shaman. You're wondering why you're getting targeted. The reason is simple, my boy. You're being targeted because you're an overpowered noob class. The ability to stick totems in the ground and fight at a reasonable level is totally absurd. You must be destroyed by the evil mage fireballs. And kittens. Yes, large, giant kittens. Daha!
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, I'm a level 14 druid, and I'm stuck in Moonglade. I'm too low level to escape through the passage. All the mobs kill me in a second. Please save me.
Oh dear God, man, who lets you play a reasonably skillful class? Perhaps you should play a rogue like the ridiculous cad you are. Ha-ha! The answer? Why should I give you the answer? Why should I save you for the doom of your own stupidity, you snivelling peon? No, Blizzard did it purposely to trap you inside Moonglade forever. Don't you know why there's so few druids in the game? Yes, they're all stuck in Moonglade. Too foolish to notice the ruddy Windrider out of there. Imbecile. Ha-ha!
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, do you know if it's possible to eat wild vine? I bought some the other day, and while trying to split some off the stack, I managed to lose one. I was a little tired, and I might have right-clicked on it, and I'm wondering if I ate it.
Oh Lord, they do get dumber every day, don't they? Accidentally eating rare trop herbs now, are we? If there ever was an occasion to use the word nublar, this would certainly be an appropriate time. Why, yes, it's certainly possible to eat wild vine. Why, my chef cooked me a wild vine casserole the other day. Absolutely delicious. Purchase the Murloc's 101 ways to cook wild vine and puppies today for only 100 gold. A spiffing bargain, wouldn't you say? Ha ha! Now get out of my house! I've had enough of your incessant prattle.
Ask the Murloc.